Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. Today it feels like the whole world is split into two camps. Some say, success is persistence. Don't give up. Keep knocking on the same door. Focus on one point. Even if nothing is happening, keep going. One day it will open. It has to. Others say the opposite. If it's not working, it's not yours. If the door doesn't open, maybe it's simply not your path. Don't break yourself. Don't torture yourself. Turn around. Find another way. And here you are, in between. Between the pressure of you must and the doubt of why. Between other people's voices and your own quiet silence. Between the desire to believe and the fear of being wrong. You're not standing still. You're moving. Taking steps. Trying. But inside, emptiness. You don't feel like it's your path. Or maybe you're afraid to admit that it isn't. And every new step doesn't bring you closer. It only adds more anxiety. You start asking yourself, am I not trying hard enough? Or am I just knocking on the wrong door? Outside, advice, videos, coaches, mentors, courses, practices, they all say the same. Find your purpose. Follow your dream. Keep going. But no one tells you how to recognize whether it's truly your dream or just an illusion you've attached yourself to. You don't want to give up, but living in a dead end is no longer bearable. And this is where it begins. Not in success, not in money, but in the moment when you decide, I want to understand myself, for real, not how to achieve, but where am I going, and why am I there? This is where the inner path begins, where there is no noise, no slogans, only truth. A subscriber once wrote to me, Dear author, I want to share my story. I had something I truly loved. I spent 5 years doing it. It was my life, it was mine. But it didn't bring income, it didn't bring results. I tried, but everything felt stuck. I started doubting. I searched for answers, for signs, for guidance. I went into a spiritual practice. I played the Leela game. 2 days of deep immersion, a guide, intense states. And I asked, I love what I do, but it brings no money. What should I do? The guide answered, If the door doesn't open, leave it. It's not your path. And I listened. I stopped. I let it go. 2 years of silence, but the thought never left. Every day it came back, reminding, whispering, This is yours. Why did you abandon it? And that's when everything became real. You move forward. You live how you were told. You trust someone more experienced. But inside, it doesn't go away. It becomes louder, as if your soul never agreed with that choice, as if it stayed where you placed a period based on someone else's advice. And eventually, I returned. Not because someone allowed me, but because I couldn't not do it anymore. I started again, and it began to work. Not instantly but steadily. Income appeared. Real, strong income. And I realized I didn't leave forever. But I did turn away, because I believed someone else knew better. That's the essence. We are so afraid of making a mistake that we start searching for someone to tell us what's right. And the deeper the fear, the easier we believe. Even when everything inside screams, This is mine, don't take it from me. This isn't just her story. It's all of us. How we abandon ourselves because of one sentence from someone else. Today people are searching for guides, mentors, teachers, someone to say, this is your path. When there is no answer inside, we look outside. Games, astrology, numerology, readings, practices. The world offers hundreds of tools, and that's not bad. They can highlight the path, point, remind, deepen. But none of them can tell you where to go, because the door you need to enter opens only from the inside. Someone may say, if it doesn't open, it's not yours. But how do they know what's behind that door? They are not you. They don't feel your pain. They don't hear your soul. They don't know what it takes for you to become the person who can open it. Too many people have handed over control of their lives to others, not because they are weak, but because they are tired of standing alone at a crossroads. But here is the truth. You can follow someone else's advice and betray yourself. Guides are not judges, they are lights. They illuminate, but you walk. And if you want to go, go. Even if they told you it's not yours. Because no one has the right to cancel your path. And if you still feel the call, it means your path is still there. Your door is still waiting. And maybe it has already begun to open. You just listened to the wrong voice for too long. The hardest thing is to understand where you are and where the program is, where your true desire is and where the voices of others live. First they say, it's too hard. Then, it's unrealistic. Then, you're too late. And you believe. Not because it's true, but because you were told someone knows better. And now you don't live. You check. You compare. You measure yourself against others. You try on someone else's script. And slowly, you forget who you were. You want to start something and they say everyone failed there. You want to leave. What will you even do there? You want to create, speak, sing. There are too many like you already. And you freeze. Not because you're not ready, but because you were convinced that you can't. But inside, the impulse is still alive. That small flame that doesn't die, even when you drown it in other people's words. So how do you know what's truly yours? What is yours doesn't die. Even if you hide it, ignore it, silence it, it returns. It pulls you. Quietly, without noise, but persistently. What is imposed pressures you. What is yours calls you. If you want to find your path, don't look for what's easier. Look for what feels alive. Where you don't destroy yourself just to fit in. Where you don't disappear just to belong. Because what is yours doesn't need proof, you simply know. And that is enough. Many people stand still for years, waiting for a sign, certainty, approval, the perfect moment. And while they wait, life passes. We are afraid of mistakes, afraid of going the wrong way, afraid of wasting time. But the worst loss is not a mistake. It's stagnation. When you feel everything but don't move. Because you're waiting for guarantees. But no one will give you guarantees. Not even life itself. Because the point is not to be certain. The point is to be alive. To step and fail is better than never stepping. To fall is better than never trying. To lose is better than never starting. Mistakes are movement. Mistakes are experience. They are life-breathing. As long as you fear, you stand still. And when you stand still, you give your life to fear. The path appears only when you walk, not before. There are always two paths, to grow or to slowly decay, not necessarily collapse. Sometimes decay is just watching others live, judging them. He opened a business? Who needs that? A coffee shop? 3 already failed. She became a stylist? Of course. You can live like this, commenting, judging, doing nothing, and feel smart. But that's not growth. That's stagnation disguised as irony. Growth is not always money, not always business. Sometimes it's simply allowing yourself to begin, to learn, to change, to try, to support instead of judge, or at least not interfere. You can discuss someone else's dream, or you can take a step toward your own, even a small one. That is growth, when you don't stand still, when you live your life, not someone else's script. Sometimes you don't need to start over. You don't need to change everything. You just need to return to yourself, to the place where you felt alive. Remember that place, where you weren't proving anything, where you simply were. Maybe you forgot that you once wanted this, to create, to try. You stopped because someone said, "Why do you need this?" But no one has the right to decide what matters to you, except you. And if you still feel it, it's not over. Your soul remembers. You don't have to prove. You don't have to achieve. You don't have to be perfect. you can simply return to yourself, to silence, to that point where you could breathe deeply. The path is not always ahead. Sometimes it's behind, sometimes beside you, sometimes inside you. And to find it, you don't need effort. You need honesty. Return to yourself and go. Quietly, without proof, without permission, simply because it is yours. Thank you for being with me on this channel. I wish you the best possible branch of reality. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.